Okay, I'm going to be doing your study guide. I'm going to go through all of these with some explanations, so here we go. So the first one, questions 1 through 3, you're looking at this box figure up at the top, and the first one says, how would you best describe line WZ and ZR? Looking at those, you would be able to say that those two are perpendicular. Down below it, I ask you, how would you best describe line XY and TS? Looking at those are actually in the same plane and they're not intersecting. You would say that those two things are parallel. And the last one, how would you best describe lines QR and XY? Those are not intersecting, but since they're not in the same plane, we say that those lines are skewed. Going on down to the next problems. This one, I want you to do 3 things for me. First, identify what angle pair you have, find what your x value is, and then find the number measure of each angle. Looking at this first one, number 4, those are special kind of adjacent angles that we call a linear pair. Your graphic organizer that we spent time making last week will be very helpful on these problems. Linear pair, something special about them because these two lines here and here are parallel, is that they are supplementary. Doing that, I'm going to take 12x minus 4 plus the other angle, which is 13x plus 9, and I'm going to set that equal to 180. Doing some algebra. Okay, I'm going to wind up with 12x plus 13x. It's going to give me 25x. And then negative 4 plus 9 gives me positive 5 equal 180. Keep going, trying to solve for my x. I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. That gives me 25x equal 175. Divide both sides by 25. I get that x is equal to 7. Last thing you need to do for your angle, come back up here, and I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to say that 12 times 7 minus 4, that's going to give me 80 degrees. And the last one, since I know they're supplementary, you can plug in your x again right here, or what I would do, I would just do 180 minus 80, and you wind up with this angle right here being 100 degrees. The next one, number 5, first you need to identify this angle and this one. They are consecutive interior angles. Since these two lines here and here are parallel, that special property is going to hold for those. And the special property about these is that they are, again, supplementary. So to find x, I'm going to do 20x minus 5, which is one angle, plus the other angle is 16x plus 5, equal to 180 degrees. Not degrees, I'm sorry, just equal 180. All right, here we go. So now I'm going to do 20x plus 16x, and that's going to give me 36x. Then I'm going to do negative 5 plus 5, that's going to be 0, so those are going to go away. Equal 180. Divide both sides by 36. I wind up with x being 5. Now I'm only going to plug into one of these, and I'm going to do the first one. I'm going to do 20 times 5 minus 5. You do your algebra on that one, you wind up with this one is 95 degrees. The other one, I would just do 180 minus 95, and you wind up with this angle right here is 85 degrees. Next page, you've got just more of the same. Okay, up here at the top, These angles right here on number 6, these are alternate exterior angles. The unique property about them, since this line and this line are parallel, is that they are congruent, which means their angle measures are equal. So I'm going to take one angle, which is 4 plus 19x. I'm going to set it equal to the other one, which is 20x. Cranking up some algebra, I'm going to subtract 19x from both sides. And I'll wind up that my x is 4. Guys, since they are the same angle, just plug into one of them. This one looks a little bit shorter, going to save me some time. So I'm going to do 20 times 4, and I wind up that that one is 80 degrees. Guys, you can plug in 4 here, but I promise you that one, since they're congruent, same measure, is going to be 80 degrees as well. The next one, I've got alternate interior angles. The unique property about them, since these two lines are parallel, cut by my transversal, they're also congruent, which means their angle measures are equal. So I'm going to take one angle, 14x minus 3, set it equal to the other one, 12x plus 11. Doing some algebra on this, I'm going to subtract 12x from both sides. That leaves me with 2x minus 3 equal 11. Add the 3 to both sides. I get 2x equal 14. And then x equal 7. Okay. Just plug into one of these. Okay. This one right here, if you plug in 7 and do your work correctly, you should get that this is 95 degrees. This one right here is going to be the exact same thing, 95 degrees. Keep going on down. Right here, you got to find the slope of these two lines. The first one. This one right here, I'm going to find my slope of this blue line. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3. And then I can run to an exact point. So the slope of this blue line here is 3 over 1, or three. The slope of this red one, I'm going to pick this exact point. I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, and I can run to this one. So my slope here is 3 over 1, or 3. Since they have same slope, I can say these two lines are indeed parallel. Next, for number 9, I'm going to do as much work as I can do right here, and then I may have to come down to the bottom. Write the equation of a line that is perpendicular to the line given by the equation 2y plus 3x equals 6 and passes through point 4, comma 2. So looking at this, I'm given something like this. I want to change this over in the slope-intercept form so that I can pick out my slope. So the first thing I'm going to do is move 3x over. And I'm going to get 2y equals negative 3x plus 6. Then I'm going to divide everything by 2. And I wind up with y equal to negative 3 over 2x plus 3. Now, again, the whole reason I did this is so that I could find the slope of that first line that's already there. And again, I told you don't ever need to look at any of this anymore. So the two things I need to write my equation is my slope. Well, since these are perpendicular, they're not going to be identical. Okay? It's going to be a opposite sign. It's going to be reciprocal. Well, the opposite of a negative is positive, and the reciprocal of 3 over 2 is 2/3. So that's half my answer. The other half is finding my y-intercept. And since I'm running out of room, I'm going to come down here and finish the problem. What I know so far is this. I know that my slope is 2/3 x plus my b, and I need my b. The point I'm going to use here is 4, comma 2. Okay, doing this, I'm going to change the y. I'm going to change the y to 2 and this x to 4. Doing that, I get 2 equals 2/3 times 4 plus b. Doing some algebra on this, and if you need to see this, I'll show it to you. You wind up with a y-intercept of -2/3. This is all just algebra. Put this over 1, subtract that fraction, and you do wind up with -2/3. So my final answer on number 10 is going to be y equal 2/3 x minus 2/3. And if I were to graph this one, it would show that this line is perpendicular to the original one I had. The last one, that was number 9. My bad. And last but not least, number 10. I don't have a graph. Okay, so if I don't have that, I'm going to be using this to find some slope. This is more of a sign issue than anything. This right here, 3, 4, that's my x sub 1, my y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. Plugging in, my y sub 2 is 6 minus my y sub 1 is 4. My x sub 2 is -9 minus my x sub 1 is 3. 6 minus 4 is going to give me 2. -9 minus 3 is -12. Simplifying that down, I wind up with -1/6. So -1/6 is my slope for number 10. Please let me know if you have any questions about any of these, and I'll be happy to answer.